Morning family, welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I made $40 million in real estate sales in my first 3 years in real estate at the age of 26. Well, I'm 26 now. I started when I was like 23. So I started when I was 23, and since then I've made $40 million in real estate sales. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it. But first, let me get a car wash. I know what some of you guys are probably thinking, Danny, no, not the M. How are you gonna put the BMW X4M into a car wash? You gotta get that shit hand washed. You know what I say to you guys? You're probably right, but my car's really dirty, and I've actually used this car wash a couple times, never gotten scratched, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm not worried. I'm a little worried. I want to walk you guys through the past 3 years and really dissect the 3 main lessons that I took from each year, or rather the biggest lesson that I took from each year, because each year has been a relearning process of the same business, right? And so what got me to where I was didn't get me to where I wanted to be. And so I'm constantly changing, evolving, and learning and growing. And I couldn't think of a better video to make today. Headed to the Intero gala today or a luncheon rather, to celebrate being in the top 5% at the company President's Circle, which means I did about $20 million in volume last year, which is awesome. You know, I'm like super excited. So this video is applicable to you if you're just starting out, or if you're thinking about building a team, everything. I'm gonna take you through all those progressions and different lessons that I've learned. But first, time for $1 million listing appointment. Boom, boom. Gold team on 3, gold team on 3. 1, 2, 3, gold team. Ladies and gentlemen, what's that smell? It's the smell of a freshly signed listing agreement. Honestly, there's no better way to start a day than getting a listing. I mean, that is literally the best way to start your day. The best. Just simply the best. So when I started in real estate, I was 23 years old. And at the time, you know, when I got into real estate, I really believed in myself, you know? And I think that is the number one thing that I would say to everyone. Is like, if you do not inherently believe in yourself, then don't do real estate, because there's gonna be a lot of ups, there's gonna be a lot of downs. And more often than not, you're gonna be told no. And so if you don't inherently have thick skin, if you don't inherently have that inner belief, then work on that first before you get into real estate. I had that inner belief. I knew that I was going to be something in this business. And so, in fact, from day one, I told myself I'm going to be the #1 real estate agent in the country, you know, which is a lofty goal, mind you, but I know that I have the ability, the talent, and the skill set to do so. And I recognize that not everybody does, right? I'm blessed to have high emotional intelligence, and I'm also blessed to have, quite frankly, like really good people skills, right? So, and communication skills. So I have that ability, not everyone does. So I got into real estate, and I had the biggest ego on this planet. I mean, I thought that I was the shit, right? And nothing could have been further from the truth. And life really beat me up really quickly, to the point where 4 months went by, no sales. And I thought, wow, you know, 4 months going by, no sales, I shouldn't be in real estate, you know. And there was a point where I was offered a job by somebody who had met me at an open house. He was the CEO of a company. And he saw something in me, and he said, Danny, I want you to come shadow our office for a few days and see, you know, if this is something that you're interested in. And so I went, and I learned more about the startup. It was a tech startup, and so what he wanted me to do is he wanted me to be the C. What was it? What do you want me to do? Okay. Basically, he wanted me to be the director of marketing. He called it CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, and so I said, okay, you know, let me think about this. And I almost did it because I didn't have any sales. But right around that time, my good friend and mentor Lynn came into the picture. And so up to that point, I basically had no skill set, right? And I had no clientele base. And Lynn approached me because she said, hey, I noticed that you're working really hard, you're really well educated. Do you want to be on my team? And I thought, no, I don't want to be on a team. Like, I want to do this on my own. But I didn't have any money and I didn't have any sales. So I took the leap of faith and I joined her team. It wasn't necessarily like a team thing, but it was like a joint venture. And together I closed 9 deals with her only my first year. So between month 4 and month 12, I did 9 deals with her. So the lesson that I learned my first year in real estate is leveraging other people's skills and knowledge if you're young and inexperienced. At the end of the day, when you're young and you're inexperienced, the one thing that you probably have is time. So give them your time. They don't have time. People with a lot of skills and a lot of business and a lot of knowledge typically don't have a lot of time. So I gave her something that she didn't have, and in return she gave me something that she didn't have, which is time. I mean, she gave me something. I gave her something that I had that she didn't have, and then she gave me something that she had that I didn't have. Oh my God. I'm like on another planet today. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It was a symbiotic relationship, and it was really the biggest blessing. You know, it was the biggest blessing, and I owe a lot to that woman. And so my first whole year in real estate, all I did was I learned and I grew and I leveraged other people's skills, reputation, knowledge, book of business to grow and further my own skills, knowledge, and book of business. Hey, Mo.
Hey, Danny.
That's Monique. She's my preferred lender. And I would say that definitely my first year, probably one of the best things that happened to me was that I established great relationships with partners in title and in mortgage. And definitely that was what I feel really helped set me up for success, because these were people that I was committed to and they were committed to me, and they really made me a better agent in the long run. Because Monique's been doing this for how long? Have you been doing this for?
18 years. Well, I would say 19 considering when I sold real estate, so 19 years. 19 years, and
Daniel, who's my title guy, has been doing this for like probably about the same.
I think so.
Or maybe a little bit less, but like 15. So collectively, like 30 plus years of experience between the two of them. I mean, that's a lot of experience that I didn't have at the time, right? And so I know that whenever I have an issue with any of my buyers or with any pre-approvals or with anything mortgage related, I can always go to Monique. In fact, not only that, but Monique went on my one of my very first listing appointments with me. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Do you remember that?
It was your first listing appointment that I went with you on, yes.
Well, it was my first one in my farm.
There
my
you
first
go.
one in my farm.
There you go. First one in your farm.
I'm gonna squeeze. That's a story for another time, guys. It's amazing, actually. So the CEO of my company asked me to do a little video interviewing some of the top producers here, why they're at Intero, and almost every single person here, without a doubt, the number one thing out of their mouth has been culture. And I feel like that's definitely the reason why this company has done so well, is because they've really embraced who they are and brought on agents that believe in that. And you know, it's just a perpetual cycle. Where am I going? I'm going to the bathroom. So anyways, back to your regular scheduled programming. In terms of my first year, I think that you guys without a doubt see that the number one theme in my first year that I really took to heart was leveraging the skills and the knowledge that are around me to grow as an agent, both from other agents as well as my partners, right, in lending, title, etc. So let's talk about year 2. Year 2 is probably the most trying year that I've had so far, and it really stemmed from the fact that I left the team that I was on, and basically at that point had to make a decision as to what I wanted to do. So I continued on as a solo agent my second year and just completely botched it for the first half of the year. And what happened was I came to a turning point in my career. I had a listing appointment that was referred to me. And for those of you that don't understand this, like if someone refers you some business, right? Like 99 times out of 100, you get that business, right? So I went on the listing appointment for this $1.85 million home in Almaden, and I completely botched it. I mean, just got destroyed. And I came out of the appointment and I was like, wow, if I'm going to be the best, like, how can I like screw up an appointment like this? Like it's 1.85 million. Like that's not that much money in my neck of the woods, you know? Like it's a lot. It's a big house, but it's not that big, right? So like if I'm going to be the number one agent, like listing 10, 15, 20, $30 million estates, like how can I not do like a $1.85 million house? So at that point, I decided that I needed to refine my skill set. And that is the biggest lesson that I took away from year 2, is refining my skill set, because you can get to a certain level by just being yourself. But if you in order to take it to the next level, you really have to refine the skills and your craft in order to better communicate with your clients and better understand how to bring value to each and every single transaction. And so I got a coach my second year, and that really helped me, you know, but my ego was getting in the way prior to that. I said I didn't need a coach, you know, I was going to do it all on my own. And again, I think this all comes back to the initial, like, I'm Danny Gould, I'm going to be the best, right? So like that really clouded my judgment. Had I gotten a coach sooner, I wouldn't have had that issue. I would have gotten that listing in Almaden just fine. But it was that inherent ego that got in my way. And so my whole second year was spent rebuilding my skill set, fine-tuning my craft, and making sure that I was really bringing the maximal amount of value to every single transaction that I was a party in. Gary P.
Hey.
You remember Gary P? You've been on the vlog before, dude.
Right, yeah.
You've been on the vlog.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Actually, you know, Gary, let me ask you something.
Okay.
How important is it to really fine-tune your skill set as a realtor in order to make it in this industry?
Extremely important, because you have a lot of new agents coming in. Excuse me. And you're sensing, you know, there's a lot of competition. But once you fine-tune the skills, I believe in leadership. The key to leadership, there's a John Maxwell statement that says that everything rises and falls on leadership. And if you have great leaders, you got great leaders, your leadership potential, actually, the higher your leadership potential, let's say you're a 9 leader, the success rate will be 9. And it's true. Follow leads, because people want to be led. They don't want people to tell them, oh, here's what you have. They want you to lead them. Lead them, and I'll guarantee you success.
But Gary, wouldn't you say that like you can only really be a leader until you can't be a leader until you're 100% confident in what you're doing, right?
Exactly, because people look. Leadership is a confidence builder. That's key.
That too. They're kind of like symbiotic in that way, right?
Exactly.
Like once you take on that responsibility, you inherently become better at what you do. So you can't be the best version of yourself until you become a leader.
Exactly.
But in order to be a leader, you need to at least achieve a certain level of success or a certain like innate confidence in your skill set and your ability to do whatever it is you're doing, right?
Exactly. I truly agree.
That's exactly it. Dude.
All right, man. Good to see you.
I'm back at the office right now. It's been a really, just like a crazy hectic day with the listing appointment in the morning and all these different things going on with some of the listings that I have right now. Plus, I do have a concert to go to tonight. Like every once in a while, I got to go have fun, right? And the team is coming with. So like the whole team is going to a concert together. And like I'm still stuck at the office right now. I'm supposed to be at home like now setting up because we're going to meet at my place and then go to the concert. But of course, I've had no time to myself, so I haven't even cleaned my room, or cleaned my apartment, I mean. And so, since my apartment's dirty, I have to go back and clean it because the cleaners don't come until Friday, and they couldn't come out today. It's a big mess. But let's talk about the third year in real estate. Look, so I think it's very clear, right? Like the first year, the biggest lesson that I got was, as a new agent, really leverage other agents and partners' skills and knowledge and money, and you help them with your time, right? join a team, do whatever you need to do in order to latch on to a more experienced agent, period. Vets will help you. Number 2, or year 2, like the biggest thing that I got was build your skill set. Like Gary said, become a leader. Learn how to become a leader, but more than anything else, like learn how to find a way to let go of your ego and learn how to do things the right way. It's going to help you sell a lot more houses in the long run if you're really looking to get into real estate. And then finally, my 3rd year, last year, I learned probably the greatest lesson of all, and that is the power of leverage. Before last year, it was just me, myself and I. And then I made my very first hire in Dusty, who's editing this video right now. Shout outs to you, my boy. Hiring him was one of the best things that I ever did because I had ambitions in video, but I just did not have the man hours to put into all of the things that I wanted to do with video. So with Dusty, I got to do that. And that was huge. I mean, my online presence now, it's not where I would want it to be, but it's a lot better. It's a hell of a lot better than where it would have been had I not hired him, you know? And at the end of the day, after hiring him, I hired a couple of assistants, and Danielle, Stephanie, both of them have left, but now Hans is picking up some of that slack. And honestly, having people to do things for you, leveraging your time with money is huge. And especially if you can find people that complement you in a way that accentuates where you're able to accentuate your areas of greatness and basically delegate all of your weaknesses, right? That's something that I've been able to do, and it has been absolutely huge. And starting this year off has just been, I mean, a roller coaster ride of emotions. But the good news is this, is that right now it's not just about me, it's about my team. And my team is my motivation, you know, like that is what drives me right now. That is what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's like that responsibility, that inherent knowing inside that these people like operate with me for a purpose that I am trying to achieve, right? Like they know, #1 real estate team in America. But it's only gonna happen if I get out of bed in the morning and they get out of the bed in the morning and we operate at the highest level. And quite frankly, like just having that has been monumental in my growth. Having the team has been imperative in my success, and I know that it's only going to get better from here. And so, guys, these are the core lessons that I've taken away from my first 3 years installing $40 million of real estate. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm just a 26-year-old, and I'm just talking at the camera, and I may not have all the experience in the world, but I do know one thing. I got a lot of determination. So that's it. You know, that's it. Like if you're interested in real estate, like these are the lessons that I would be telling you if you were sitting right here in my office asking me what you should do to become a new agent. I would literally sit down and say, these are the principles to success. Go and execute. Period. That's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna get going. We're gonna have a good rest of the night. As always, it's Danny Gould with the Gould team, the future #1 real estate team in America. We're selling Silicon Valley. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.